Noticing nature, an intervention to support SEMH through connection to nature. The purpose of the intervention is to support well-being, promote emotional regulation, and to develop and strengthen positive relationships with peers and staff through daily structured time in the outdoors. The intervention involves a small group of children spending 25 to 30 minutes outdoors every day for 15 days. Connecting to nature is more than just being outside. It's about slowing down and being present in the outdoor environment, and it involves tuning into our senses to notice sights, smells, sounds and textures that you may have typically overlooked. Through being curious and noticing and engaging in the nature around us, we can feel calmer and more grounded. On the screen, you can see some of the ways in which you can connect to nature with children. These include using our senses to tune into the environment, sharing experience of the outdoors with others, initiating active participation in the outdoors, developing curiosity and wonder at the outdoors, noticing patterns, small details and changes, and using the outdoors to practice mindfulness. Before implementing the intervention, there are a few considerations to think about. Some activities may involve children spreading out. It's important to consider where children will be able to move safely and how you will communicate the boundaries of the space. In the first session, you may want to spend a few minutes showing the children where they are free to explore. It may be useful to use physical boundaries such as fencing or simple visual markers such as tying up ribbons to indicate where the boundaries end. All sessions should take place outside, so before beginning the intervention it may be helpful to plan for wet weather. This might include providing waterproof clothing and building in extra time for children to get ready. Many activities work really well on rainy days, and planning for them in advance can make the sessions run smoothly. Similar considerations should apply on cold and windy days. The sessions start and end with a check-in where the children group together. It's helpful to have somewhere such as a bench, an area of grass, or an outdoor classroom, which can support the routine of the session where the children start and end every day in the same place. The session structure is broken into 3 parts, which I'll go into in more depth in the next few slides. The general structure involves the session starting when the group gathers together to check in and review the previous day. The group then complete a noticing nature activity before being brought back together to reflect on the session and check out. We also add a transition activity at the end as part of the planning. This involves thinking about a mindful activity that will support the children returning to the classroom. This activity can be something to support the actual movement from the outdoors to the classroom, or a short mindful activity just outside of the classroom door before they actually go inside. The check-in. At the start of the session, the group are brought together at the meeting spot. This is a good chance to ask them something about the previous day, such as what they enjoyed, or was there something that interested them, or how did they feel after the session. The main body of the check-in is then about the children thinking about how they're feeling. This might be through noticing and describing how their body feels, such as having butterflies, or it may be about noticing and naming a feeling. The check-in can be done verbally, or it can be done through visuals, mime, scaling questions. The check-in does not have to look the same every day, and activities can be repeated over the 15 sessions. The adult should model exactly how they want the children to respond and may use stem sentences if necessary. The noticing nature activity should last 15 to 20 minutes. This activity can be anything which encourages children to engage with the nature around them. Resources to support planning, as well as activity ideas, will be shared in the downloads. Typically, the activities change from day to day. However, if the group are interested in an activity, it can be revisited. Throughout the activity, we encourage adults to be actively taking part, sharing in curiosity and wonder alongside the children. There's no expectation to record what the children have done, although you may want to take photos. The activity is the noticing in itself. While we do plan for noticing nature activity in advance, it's important to also be flexible. If something occurs, such as suddenly noticing some bees buzzing around flowers, the intended activity can be changed to allow the children time to watch the bees. The adult would encourage the children to look closely as the bees collect pollen and see if they can spot any tiny details. They should pause and listen to the buzzing and share in the wonder together. If a child spots something of interest, encourage the other children to come over and see what they found. The checkout. At the end of the session, we bring the children back together at the meeting spot and spend 5 minutes reflecting on the session and thinking about how we feel. Discuss the activity with the children before encouraging them to notice any changes in how they're feeling. Again, the check-in can be done verbally, using visuals, scaling questions, mime, and again, adults should also be modelling the checkout too. After the session, the children transition back to the classroom. As part of the planning, we also consider how to support this transition. There are some activity ideas shared as part of the downloads. The transition back may depend on the children and the distance between the outdoor area and the classroom. Some transition activities involve movement to support regulation, some mindful walking, and others can be returning to the class and then taking part in a short breathing exercise or short mindful activity before actually entering the room. To exemplify the different sections, here is an example plan. In this plan, the check-in involves a talking stick being passed around the circle where the children share something they enjoyed yesterday and share how they're feeling today. The Notice in Nature activity involves the children moving around looking for signs of spring. This will include looking for small shoots, some buds on trees, birds building nests, and some early flowers. When looking at the buds, we might encourage the children to notice any colours, shapes, and if the buds are in groups. And if a child finds anything unexpected during the hunt, the adult may choose to call everyone over to look. The adult will also look around and wonder at anything they find. After 15 to 20 minutes, the children will be called back together and asked to share something they found. They will then be asked how they are now feeling and has anything changed. Again, the adult would model this too. Finally, as the children move back to class, the adult will use a transitional activity. In this case, follow the leader, where the adult will be at the front of the line and will ask the children to copy how they walk. This will involve slow, careful movement for the children to copy. Part of the downloadable resources, there is an example planning sheet. This breaks the session into 3 parts and has a section for any notes. You may choose to use a different format. The resources also include links to 2 online Padlets. One has lots of Notice in Nature activities which can be used for the sessions. These are only example ideas, and you may have an activity idea which is not part of this Padlet. As long as the activity involves the children actively noticing and being curious with the nature around them, then it's suitable. There are activities which should suit a range of outdoor settings, including activities which require very little outdoor space, and there are ideas for all of the seasons. The second online resource has examples of transitional activities. These should give some ideas as to the type of activities which can be used to support the children returning to their class. Tips for delivery. Think about the time of day which might help the children. For some, it's first thing in the morning, and for others, after lunch or mid-afternoon, but try to keep the time of the session each day consistent. During each session, we encourage staff to participate actively alongside the children. This can help build and maintain strong connections. Transitioning back to class can be challenging, which is why we treat this as an important element of the intervention. We also encourage adults in the child's class, who may not have taken part in the session, to find opportunities later in the day to ask the child about what they did and what they enjoyed. This does not need to happen immediately, but helps strengthen the connection between the outdoor sessions and the classroom relationships. Example questions are included in the resource pack and can be shared with the relevant staff. As mentioned previously, all sessions should take place outdoors. Planning ahead ensures children have access to waterproofs and warm clothing. If children feel cold or wet, it can affect their comfort and engagement in the session.